The views and opinions in the following program are those of the host and guests and do not reflect those of Ernest Smith or Ernest Smith Productions. This is ESP TV.
And welcome to ESP TV. My name is Karen Bryson, and tonight my esteemed guest is this wonderful lady here. She needs no introduction, but you all really need to know about her because our topic tonight is we're discussing alopecia and the Oscars. So let's just get right into it. Let me tell you about this wonderful woman. Lisa Brewer, she's also known as MAC, Maker of a Crown. She's the owner of the Exquisite Beauty Hair Replacement Center, which is a woman and veteran-owned small business located in Chesapeake, Virginia. Lisa is a certified hair loss practitioner, cranial prosthesis. Lord, can I read? And I wrote it.
That's all right.
Provider, and has been a licensed cosmetologist for over 20 years. She is also the owner of a nonprofit organization called Wigs for Purpose, Inc. Good evening, my friend. How are
good
you?
Evening, Karen. Fine.
It seems like we don't spend enough time together, and it seems that only for something going on do we end up catching up with each other.
Right.
And tonight's topic, girl. Yes. Let's just jump right in because we'll start with your area of expertise.
Sure.
What exactly, I know because I looked it up, but please tell our listening audience exactly what alopecia is.
Alopecia is the autoimmune disease that ends up experiencing hair loss. I'm just going to keep it very basic, hair loss, okay? And you have over 80 million people, last year who lost their hair in the United States to hair loss. So that's pretty much it. It's real basic.
But let them know whether or not it may not be all of your hair. It can come out in patches,
yes,
or
it can.
Not all at once, and it may grow back a little bit, but then you'll experience it again. And
Yes.
I was given to understand, I've had it when I was younger, and that's scary, especially for women. But I was given to understand it could be stress.
Yes, and then that's
Well,
what you're
come on,
talking about.
Talk to me.
No problem. Well, what she's just talking about is alopecia areata. This is one of the top hair loss that people experience, and they come out in little patches, and that's what Jada Pinkett actually experienced.
Okay.
Alopecia areata, but it's an autoimmune disease, for her, and it just came across her head this way in patches, but in a line. So I was like, wow. Yeah, but sometimes you can just be in one area, the front, the back, and the thing is, it can be, a lot of times it is from stress,
Okay.
but it can grow back. It can.
Yes.
Just you gotta, relax. You gotta see a person like me, a hair loss practitioner, can lead the way as far as what's going on, and then we refer you to a dermatologist. See, I'm not a doctor. Okay.
What?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Yet?
Not yet. So I can't diagnose you, but I can guide you through to see the dermatologist or to see a licensed professional medical doctor to actually give you like steroid injections and just different things so they can actually treat it. And then you will come back under my care And if you are missing some type of minerals or vitamins or what have you, I can provide those things to you.
So it can also be part of your diet then?
Yes,
that
it can be your
cause
diet.
it? Okay.
Yes.
My daughter also experienced it. I had like one little spot, and it was so small, but you can notice that if you part your hair at a certain way, or, you know, at any rate, she had a small, I guess a dime-sized area, but it was right here.
Right.
And she did, as you indicated, get the injections, which didn't do anything. That was a waste of money. So,
Well, you know, like for me, okay, I kept seeing it come in my chair. So I
Okay.
decided to dive into the deeper study of hair loss, you know, and scalp disorders. So I end up learning that it can be your hormones or your genetics, okay? Those two areas, all right? And then I actually was able to do a biometric scanning. And what that does is it just identifies what key areas in your body that's like out of range. Because see, hair loss, I mean, your hair is like a beacon to let you know something is actually imbalanced in your hair, okay? In your body, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
Understood.
so, right. So once you know that, you know, the biometric scanning that I do in the clinic, you know, will let you know the different areas and actually refer you to professionals or other, like a nutritionist, a wellness clinic, or even church. Believe it or not, they tell you to meditate, exercise. They tell you just natural remedies, you know, from my level of expertise, okay? And also, you know, we do like pH level. You know, and you want to make sure your body's balanced in that. So you want to be really acidic. So if you actually acidic, you know, you allowing diseases to harbor inside your body. So you want to bring that level up to more of a balancing in between, I would say 4.5 to around 6 or 7, okay? But just balancing between that. Drink some alkaline water. You can make it yourself, you know.
I don't think our listening audience, everyone may not understand what you mean when you say bring it up to a 6 or a 7. Specifically tell them what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. So you know you have the pH level, you know, ranging from acid to alkaline, which alkaline is like a 10, all right? So you want to bring it like in the middle. You want to meet things in the middle of your body. I'm talking about water balance, okay? Water will help bring your body up to, if you drink alkaline water. So I'm going to say, for example, we use an actual pH strip, okay, that measures the actual acidic level, the level that's in your body, okay? Once you take that, it'll let you know that if you acid or alkaline, all right? Yeah, it does. So once I let you know if your body is on the acid side, which is between a 1 to up to about a 5,
Okay.
you consider it acidic. But if you're like around a 6 or higher, then you on the alkaline side. But you want to be in the middle, okay?
be in the
the middle,
In the
yeah.
middle.
So
You said it could be genetics, which means
Yes.
it's hereditary. And
Hereditary.
it can be passed down through generations, or it
Yes.
maybe even skipped a generation or people, or does it stay a
could.
straight line?
not necessarily.
Okay,
Not
that's
necessarily.
interesting. Okay, let our audience know whether or not is it contagious.
Contagious as far as no.
Well, people don't know, so I'm going to give them all the
Okay.
information I know. Like I said, I looked it up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So tell them, is it, you know, is it something that you would catch from someone else by using their hairbrush or comb, or explain that to them?
Now diseases. Now,
Right.
like if yes, that's contagious. Like oh God, I'm having a brain fart right
That's
now.
okay. Take your time, girl. We're right here for an hour.
Yeah, but you know, certain types of diseases like oh, I just cannot think right now. But you know, it could be
Alopecia is.
yeah, it can be contagious if it's, you know, if you have an actual disease like I just cannot think right now.
Well, we can come back to it
Yeah,
and
we
hold
can
on to that
definitely-
thought,
yeah.
and we'll regenerate it again. Okay. women, is it specifically women of color, or can anyone have alopecia?
Anyone can. Anyone at any age can experience alopecia. Yes.
Great, I have a couple questions regarding that line too.
Sure.
Women as a whole, unless you have a nice round head, we really don't want to lose our hair.
No, we don't.
We really do not, unless it's, you know, because of illness, because of cancer, or whatever else, and you're forced to do that. But as a general rule, our hair is our crown.
Yes, it is.
And that goes across the board with any nationality. Which brings me to men. Men are embarrassed. They go through whatever it is they go through because their hair starts to recede and they lose it and get their little bald spots. Is that considered alopecia, or is that just
Yes,
baldness?
it is. No. Alopecia is, you know, it could be genetic, okay? It is baldness. You could say that because it's the thinning of the hair.
Wow.
Genetically, or they could be wearing like a lot of ball caps, and it cause, you know, they can wear it too tight. This, you know, the skull caps and stuff that they can restrict the head, causing the blood circulation not to circulate to the actual hair shaft, which cause miniaturization of the hair. So then next thing you know, you're losing your hair actually off your scalp. So you would notice like the hairline starting to recede back, and it can be self-inflicting, or it can be genetics.
Which, in some cases, you could be in the same family, your siblings, your parents, whatever.
Yes.
And one brother may have hair loss and another not. So how does that feed into that same scenario?
As far as hair loss is concerned?
Yes.
Well, you know, like it's the body makeup, it's the DNA, you know, because not everybody's the same. And that's another thing, and I'm glad you're bringing this up, you know. They will see like certain products they actually show, you know, on video in YouTube land, YouTube University, and they say, oh, this grows fast for me. But everybody's makeup is different, you know. So really, hair products only preserves the hair and scalp, and keep the hair moisturized and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It doesn't really like make it grow fast, believe it or not, okay? Hair loss really begins from within.
The
Yes, it
follicles
does.
and everything
The
inside.
follicles, okay, let me explain this to you.
Okay, come on. Give
All
it to
right.
us.
Okay, the hair that you see above your scalp is considered dead, okay? When you cut your hair, do you actually see blood come through it? No. But underneath,
That was interesting.
right,
Okay.
below the scalp is what's considered alive, okay?
Wow.
Yes. So you want to make sure that anything that you experience in life, emotionally, whatever you eat, the vitamins you take, you want to make sure it's, you know, good for you. You want to make sure that it's right for you, you know? So what has happened that a lot of times, like, for example, if a person has surgery, you know, the weight loss surgery, they're lacking certain nutrients, vitamins and nutrients, okay? Yes, because they're not able to intake a lot of that because of restriction of their stomach, you know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
So what they have to do is make sure that they take the right vitamins and minerals that's prescribed by their doctor, okay? So that they can continue to have hair growth, but a lot of times they're going to be losing their hair from that surgery. So, but they got to make sure they stay on top of it.
Now, I'd never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, or even just people that's eating plant-based diet, they're not
Getting all the proteins,
getting all the
and everything
proteins.
else they need.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so they missing out on that. So there's a lot of different factors. So
So we just can't
most
live and
important-
be healthy, huh?
the key is being healthy. You know, that is the key. You got to know what you are actually missing from your body, and the only way you would know that is through a blood test. And we have a hair panel test that we request our patients to actually go get from their doctor, request from their doctor, and that's your vitamin D, your vitamin C, biotin, just a series of tests, you know, that you need to take, you know, so you know what kind of vitamins you need to replace, so you can start the hair growth, you know.
insurance companies, will they accept that as a health benefit, or because just like some women can't get breast augmentation or lowering,
Right.
you know,
Now,
I'm just using that as an example.
I'm glad you're asking that, because as far as hair loss treatment from a trichologist or hair loss practitioner,
Okay.
no.
Wow.
You have to see a medical doctor
Mm-hmm.
in order to use the medical insurance. Okay. Now, in my practice, I also am a cranial prosthesis provider.
Okay.
And so what that is I design medical wigs. So insurance companies would pay me to do that.
Okay.
But they have to be approved first. It's have to be on their actual policy.
My gosh, who would have wig care or prosthesis is on their insurance? Just spelled out like that.
They won't know until they ask,
That's crazy.
And when it's open season, I know I put it out a lot, and that's usually around October.
Mm-hmm.
I tell them, look, check your policy and see if if the cranial prosthesis is actually covered on your actual insurance.
So 9 times out of 10, unless you have cancer or have hair loss by those means, they won't know that it needs to be on their insurance policy for it to be covered or anything like that.
Yes.
That is horrible. My goodness.
I know, but I tell you, so many women that I've experienced, they are really broken.
Yeah.
And I had to change my practice from being in an open environment to a more private environment, because
It's a personal experience that they go through when they're not visiting, but when they're seeing you.
Right. It's they share a lot of different stories.
Yes.
One would say, I'm having a problem in my marriage because I'm experiencing this alopecia, and I can't even take my wig off in front of my husband because I'm afraid he might leave me or he might make
Is that
fun
not
of me.
sad?
Yeah.
And if he loves her, he didn't just love her for her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh! But we can't go into everyone's bedroom and discuss their
No.
marriages. I mean, it's whatever's going on with them, but still, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I actually had one today, has shared with me. She's actually, her hair has receded back. She has nothing in the front and just hair in the back side of her head. And she was telling me, her husband was taking her to the doctor because, she wanted to really see, a
What was going on,
dermatologist and
yes.
to identify what was going on.
Absolutely.
And she had told the doctor, or told the nurse, hey, don't bring my husband in because I don't want him to see me. The receptionist at the front was like, who are you here to see? The husband. Asked the husband. Say, oh, your wife's in the back. Let me take you back. And when she opened the door, she was like, she was
devastated.
Yes, she was. Yes,
Oh,
she
my
was. She told me
goodness.
that. But to her amazement, her husband understood.
See,
So that's a good thing. I want to
yes, something
share some
good sharing.
good, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so,
You said
Yes.
that also children can have this.
yes.
What is the youngest age you've ever experienced or heard about that a child has gotten alopecia?
Oh, my God, let me see.
And what are they concerned about that they're that stressed out?
Well, a lot of times it's in their genetics. It's just
Okay.
something,
Hereditary.
hereditary, or it could be a medical imbalance. Something inside of
Okay.
them is imbalanced. So
Wow.
it could be lupus, cancer,
Oh, yes,
those
right.
different things, So, yeah, it can be that. So,
My
yeah.
goodness.
But I don't deal with a lot of kids, but normally that's from what I was told, that happens.
We're going to move on to the juicy part that everyone's been waiting for. And every network, every comedian, every show, everyone everywhere around the world has heard the slap that stopped the Oscars.
I know.
Let's start at the very beginning.
Oh, wow.
We are going to start with the joke. And what's funny is when he first said it, and I listened, and and the camera panned over to them, I didn't catch it either. And then I said, "Oh, he's talking about her head." But I don't believe that Chris Rock was saying it maliciously. You know, he is a comedian. Her head is bald, so he meant it like that. And then to come find out that there is history with the Smiths and him with other jokes that he has come up with. But before I let you answer, because I know you got a lot to say, girl. The Smiths have been an open book, always, about their marriage, about their children, about their lifestyle. Since they're not keeping any of this personal, and it is out there for public fodder for anyone to have an opinion, and everyone has an opinion one way or another, whether they're not paying their bills, but everyone has an opinion. I don't understand why they would really get upset at Chris Rock doing his job, and it wasn't a malicious, slanderous joke. So let's start with the joke before we dissect the rest of this.
Oh, wow.
How did you feel about the joke? Did you even see the Oscars?
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
However,
blasphemy, girl.
No, because I really don't watch a lot of TV, but I actually got a chance to saw the different clippings of,
I'm sure.
you know, what
Everywhere.
Chris Rock said and what Will
The
Smith said.
slow-mo, the
Yeah,
gas,
all
the freeze
that,
frame.
all that. And from what I was told, it was pre-script for him, you know, and
For who? Be
for
specific.
Chris. I'm sorry, for what is it?
Will
Chris,
Smith?
No, Chris
Who?
Rock.
Chris Rock. It was
yeah.
pre-scripted for him to say that joke? Well, the other networks are saying that it wasn't in his cue cards, that he just, you know,
really?
threw it in there because they're sitting in the front. You know how comedians will say something
Yeah,
about if
they'll
you're
throw
sitting in the
some
front.
extra. But I don't know. I just feel it might have been something that was in, because, you know, comedians gonna make fun.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he knew her situation, then he shouldn't have went there, to me. Because from what I experienced with women that have been made fun of, when it comes down
It's
to,
hurtful.
yeah, it is. So it's a twofold thing, you know. But I don't condone, you know, what has happened, you know,
Right.
with the whole thing, really.
And
you know,
he may or may not have known or heard about her alopecia.
Right.
The fact that she just had the bald head and she's gone through various stages of hair lengths through her career and
Right.
life, that he saw it, he said it. You sent something from Dr. What was his name?
which one?
The one that you sent us concerning body language and everything. That was Dr.
Oh, yeah.
What was his name?
Boykin, I think.
Was it Boykin?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know I wrote it down, but I don't have it right in
Oh,
front of me.
I forgot.
and
But
I
you know, I
know.
tell you, I had these brain farts.
Girl, constantly, the older I get, it's scaring me.
Yes.
I try to play word games constantly. Like, what is this? You know, keep doing this.
Yeah.
The body language, I don't
Yes.
feel that it was scripted only
No, it was not.
because
I mean, well,
Chris Rock said it. Will Smith laughed until he turned and saw his wife's expression. Okay, she has previously said in media that she doesn't give two craps about her bald head. You know, it is what it is, and you know, and she's got a nice shaped head, and she's a beautiful woman in general, gorgeous lady.
you know,
So, for him to get that overly gassed up and hyped behind that comment to the point that he felt he had to walk up on stage and smack another black man. I need to ask you a question about that too, so bring me back to that slap, because I need to ask a specific thing about that.
I want you to keep saying about Jada, and she said it is what it is.
Exactly. Basically, so for him to look at his wife, maybe he hasn't been as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not forthcoming, but as helpful and supportive of her, what
It
she's
could
going
be.
through. And, well, I mean, it's not equal to that entanglement. let me stop before people are contacting us. But everyone's going to joke about it. Come on, it's fair game. You put it out there. It's just like if we put our lives out there, it's fair game.
Right.
He was so gassed up that he felt he had to go up there and smack him, turn around and walk back to his seat, then verbally get more hyped and
The attention.
enunciate each word. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. Okay, he said it twice. I think had that been some other comedian, Wesley Snipes isn't a comedian, but had he said that to anybody else, I can't even think of anybody's name that would have jumped back on him. But considering the circumstances, and it was live TV and everything, I give all props to Chris Rock for unballing his fists, for keeping calm, and
He did.
not
He kept his
make it
composure.
escalate past where it was.
Right.
Because it was also said that he kept looking over to the directors and everyone, thinking they're going to cut to a commercial and deal with this, but they didn't. They let it keep rolling to go on. How did you feel about that?
As far as the slap and all that, they should have, I don't know if there was any way to cut it off, or, to actually have people come up and kind of play it off. I don't know, because when it's live, because it was actually live, right?
Yeah, and everyone just got real quiet. They weren't sure if it was
They
a
were
skit,
shocked, a skit.
or it was,
Yeah, right.
like you
'Cause
said.
At first, I thought it was a skit, because, I didn't watch the episode. I woke up in the morning and voila, it was there. And I thought it was scripted, but then I'm like, wait a minute, this is for real. But the part that you mentioned about Jada saying it is what it is, this is how I feel. A lot of times, a lot of women will say, oh, I'm not bothered by
care,
it.
but they
I don't care,
are.
but they are. And, for real, she shouldn't have, said it is what it is. Just
I
be
don't know
really
if I
truthful.
quoted her directly, but the gist of it was she didn't care about her bald head. She was, rocking it the way it was, and she was
Right.
fine with it.
But she really had, because I went to her page, and she really had some concerns about the latest outbreak, the inflammation she had on top of her head, the alopecia areata, that part, the line
didn't
up
see
top.
that.
It's a line on top. And initially, when I first saw the video, I didn't actually listen to her, but I figured it was the actual jewelry, that, the head jewelry she was wearing. Sometimes you wear head jewelry. I don't know if you ever paid attention to that. So I thought it was traction alopecia, because sometimes when you wear, head jewelry, and you actually have the adhesives that you use to hold it down. But if you,
really?
yeah, if you remove it improperly, you're pulling out the actual hair, the entire hair shaft, and that hurts. And that's the same thing, if a person will wear hair extensions,
Okay.
weave is what we say, and if you use glue, and if you don't move it according to how it was applied, you will lose the entire hair shaft, and you will see like a defined line of where the actual weft was glued on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you
So you
can.
would hope that people that are wearing weaves and things, they know this, or whoever's applying it and putting it in
Right.
for them. Wow.
So-
See, look at this. Look at all this we're learning tonight. By asking questions and just like
Yeah.
as if we're sitting here in our living room. We need a glass of wine, don't we?
I
Or
know.
something. I'm
Oh, I was
sorry.
gonna say,
I apologize. Next time. Let me go back to the slap before we get into the body language and everything else.
Okay.
Because it was concerning to me the fact that he went up there and he slapped him. He had an option. He could have punched him. So was there any emphasis or reason to slap him as if, are we allowed to cuss? Mr. Producer, are we allowed to say bad words? We can? Okay. That was more like a bitch slap. Okay?
Okay.
So was that to embarrass him and demean him as opposed to punching him? what do you think? I mean, we weren't there. We have no clue as to what was in Smith's mind. But I mean, from visually,
I guess to let her know I'm serious. You know, instead of me punching you, I'm gonna slap you. But I kind of thought about his character with the award he actually won.
okay.
You know, like he's actually in character, because I never watched the movie, but I heard the character he played was Serena Williams'
Venus's father. Yes, I saw the movie. It was actually really good.
Okay, so I don't know. I heard he was very protective of his daughters, right?
Right.
So he was like standing up for them. So I was thinking maybe he was in character of thinking that, and then, you know, I'm going to show that I'm strong, and I'm going to, you know, stand up and protect my family, which is Jada, you know, because she was embarrassed by him. So
she rolled her eyes, but she didn't look embarrassed. She's like, rolled her eyes like, oh gosh, here we go again, you know, he's going to brag on me again, you know. But she didn't look embarrassed.
But I saw it from another angle, from the back.
From the back.
Okay, like the camera's behind them.
Okay.
And he was saying the actual joke, right?
Okay.
Jada was really laughing. She was laughing about
laughed.
that.
I know he laughed, but I didn't really.
And they
I'm gonna have
both
to look
were.
at it again. I think at first. No. Did she? I'm gonna have to look at it. Mr. Producer, do you have that clip, or you'll have to play it?
Do you have the one that the camera was aiming from the back? It was a TikTok.
If not, we can move on. But everyone can. You can Google it. I'm sure you can find anything on Google.
Yeah, find that. But now, at first, it seems like she was just, you know, laughing along. Mm-hmm. And then when he really got into the joke of the GI, what was it, GI Jane? What I don't know. But anyway, she kind of, oh, Lord. And then he looked over, and then that's when he got up.
It was actually a good movie, and Jada, if she were to play G.I. Jane 2, if they made another one of it, I actually think because of her demeanor and how she acts in general, she would have been great in a role like that. So
I never watched that movie.
Oh my gosh, where have you been, lady?
Oh, in the books.
There's
in
nothing
the books.
wrong with that.
In the books.
A very strong woman in a man's area, because most men are SEALs, and you don't Navy SEALs, and you don't see many women going after that role. But but you know, in the service, it's a very strenuous, and the things that they went through just to be able to become SEALs, it's a lot. So, but I can actually see Jada playing that role, you know, the next segment of it, you know, for another woman to be inducted as a SEAL. I honestly feel that there's some other things going on too, because I also read that their son Jaden, he made the comment, or tweeted it, or Instagrammed it, I don't remember which, and said, "This is how we do." Now, we can either read a lot into that or a little bit and say, now that's one for pause, for thought. Like, we meaning, this is how we black men take care of our women. This is how my father takes care of my mother or us. You know, it just leaves a lot to think about that. It's, my goodness. Her daughter Willow is really instrumental in sticking right by her mother, because she finally told her mom to let it go and just going to shave her head, and in comradeship she shaved her head too.
To support her. To
support her mother. Yeah. I don't know how many people would do that. If I had a nice round head, I don't have a nice round head, so I would have to think about that hard.
Actually, I've seen, and I've had this happen, because I do a program was called Intimate Moments with Exquisite Beauty. And this is where cancer survivors, when they are first diagnosed, and they start getting their treatments, or even before they start their treatments, I actually provide a private ceremony with the support of their loved ones.
Okay.
Actual cancer survivors can give them some words of encouragement,
Okay.
right? And I had it where a husband and a wife both shaved their heads. Yeah, I shaved their heads.
That is so nice.
So it's very common, yeah.
But bald heads are actually in style, so people are doing it because, especially men, because they see they're starting to lose it. So instead of, waiting and combing it over to the side or push, whatever they do, they're just going on and shaving it.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a stigma for men to walk around bald-headed now, and a lot of people think it's sexy.
I actually say, I'm glad that now women are becoming more liberated and accepting it's okay to be bald. And there's an organization that's out here. I forgot the name of it, but they out here and they're just promoting, hey, it's okay to rock the baldness,
Rock the baldness. I like that. We'll have to get some T-shirts. Rock the baldness.
Yeah. So, and we need more and more women that's out there that's experiencing alopecia. If you feel that you want to come out and share your story, do so. Actually, I had a client that came out. If you go on my Facebook page, she actually shared her story, and she's been under my care for about 6 months now. And the actual dermatologist told her, so we can't tell her, hey, we're going to grow your hair back. We can't we can't tell them that guaranteed, because it takes a lot of different things.
Right.
But this woman in particular client, the doctor told her she couldn't ever grow her hair back for what she has lost,
Oh, my.
And because she shared it on Facebook, so I can talk about this.
Okay.
Well,
was that an accurate assessment, though?
Huh?
Was that an accurate
we
assessment, though?
can't say that because we don't know what transpired. I can't say. Maybe God allowed me to be that one for it to come back. I don't know. I just know I followed the steps.
You, girl.
I know. I followed the actual steps that I was trained to do, as far as the treatments, the tests that I do.
Okay.
And her hair is actually coming back. And she was so elated, so excited. Yes. So yeah.
Look at you, you miracle worker, you over there.
I just only follow what God tells me to do. I do, and that's what led me to Wigs for Purpose. Because I love doing hair, and so many different women from the domestic violence shelters, from the cancer organizations, and they heard about me and how I would just give away, wigs and hair extensions or just a free service because they've been through a hard time, they couldn't afford it, and they need something to uplift them and empower them. And I encourage them with words to say, hey, it's okay, you still got it. And just over the years, more and more people were like, Lisa, can you donate hair service? Sure. I did many events. Then the next thing I know, it was like, Lisa, you need to come out and share your story. And I did, and now it's shared on the local TV network, and God allowed me to create a 501c3, Wigs for Purpose.
That is awesome.
In the pandemic, it got approved. Yeah. So
huge congrats.
Thank you so much.
The wigs that you're able to make for your clients,
yes.
You call them clients?
Clients, patients, it all depends on what they're in for.
Is it a really high grade of hair, or what do you use?
Well, it all depends on what they want. It starts from heat resistant all the way up to your European.
Heat resistant hair?
Heat resistant.
Meaning you can't curl it or flat iron it?
Actually, you can. It's just at a low temperature.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But it's a high grade, heat resistant hair. So it's mixed, with synthetic fibers and some hair fibers too, But yeah, a lot of people actually wear them, So, but but if you have some of my clients or patients, they're actually allergic to synthetic fibers. So they have to make sure that you inform your, your doctor. If you're going to get a prescription for a cranial prosthesis, you need to let them know, hey, I am allergic to synthetic fibers. Could you please, make it where it's human hair?
Okay.
Yeah, for medical reasons. Yes.
Do you not instruct, but do you encourage your patients or your clients to wear styles that are flattering to them, as opposed to, say someone came to you and because of the shape of their face or whatever's going on, and they wanted hair, I'm just using this as an excuse, hair down to the floor. That's not something that's going to be economical or a good move to make, especially trying to upkeep it, and you don't want to sit it on your nightstand at night. But to get a nice shoulder length or something that's complimentary to them,
That's an automatic thing.
and they listen to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because a lot of times, sometimes I have samples, they can actually try on, different wigs, and they find out, oh, this is not for me, As you get older, shorter hair is actually better, even though you look nice with your length of hair,
You know what? It's called lazy, because this can be pulled up in a bun, a braid, whatever. It's real easy to pull that stuff back, as opposed to have to deal with it and really work with it every day.
But yeah, it all depends on, like I say, the style, the color. There's a lot of different factors you have to formulate in order to pick the right kind of wig for that woman.
Okay.
So you look at the shape of the head, you look at their skin complexion, so you want to have the right matching color.
Right.
And sometimes, and I'm going to jump into the cranial prosthesis part, okay? This is the medical part. Because a woman has lost their hair, okay? A lot of times they want to wear their own hair, because a lot of times they have a lot of hair in the back. So I design units so that they can actually wear their hair out along with the cranial prosthesis in the front.
Oh, wow, that is
exciting. It's like a mixture. So what they do is they come in for consultation, okay? I will pre-qualify them with their insurance company to see if they're good to go. And then if not, then I have options for them. They can go on an payment plan, okay? Or they can get financing, so, be able to do that. And once that is settled, then we go into the molding, okay? I create different molds. I do a cast mold, a tape mold, to actually, create that mold so we be able to lay out
a perfect fit for
perfect
their
fit,
head.
right?
Okay.
And then they able to select different base materials, okay? Yeah, like lace, like French or Swiss. Then you have your silk. Then there's other materials like polycables. Yeah, I know I'm using all these different languages, but there are a lot of different materials used as far as selecting the right, right layout for the client. So once that is selected, then they actually select the density, like how thick or how thin they want their actual unit, how light it should be.
Oh,
The color, the hair color.
It's a lot that goes
It's a
into
lot
this.
into a cranial prosthesis than
Just
the regular,
picking out a wig and
right?
putting it on your head, going to the store.
Right, going to the
My
beauty supply
goodness,
store. No,
yeah.
it's totally different, totally different. So yeah, but I do offer, making the regular wigs that you do if you buy, hair bundles, and we can sew it on a cap, and you have your closures and all that. I do that as well.
So you would have to, if they wanted a different color, like, that's beautiful. I like your hair color. It's
Thank you.
pretty. So say you picked out something that was flattering to them, but they wanted it a different color. You do that too, or would you send them somewhere else?
No. I actually do that too, but it can be time consuming. So you have to understand, you got to, have enough time to be able to do that. Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. So, but the service is offered. Yeah.
And you do it with a beautiful smile. Look at
Thank you.
My gosh. So, which means that when you have a client or a patient and you begin this process with them through completion to their hair to give them the more confidence and fulfillment, does that mean forever and ever in perpetuity, they're now coming to you for whatever they need as far as that?
Okay, once they establish, you know, the unit, the case, I would say.
Okay.
Yes, they can come back to me. It all depends, you know, what the insurance actually says. Because some insurance companies will do one once a year, or they can make one twice a year, you know. It just all depends. But I encourage them to have at least 2 on hand. Because once you come in, you know, you got to take it off. Because, you know, it all depends on how it's applied.
Okay.
You can be applied with tapes and adhesives, or it can be sewn down. You know,
If there's nothing there, how are you sewing it to there?
no, it all depends. That's where tapes and adhesives come in.
Won't your scalp at some point have to breathe, though, without?
Well, cranial prosthesis, you use different base materials to cater to that, so you'll be able to breathe. You create, okay.
You all listen to this, please, because she's giving you some real gems here.
Yes.
And I feel horrible since I don't know. That's why I'm asking,
It's
so at least you all can
okay,
hear
'cause you
and
need
you'll
to
know,
know.
too.
You know, cranial prosthesis, it's light fitting, you know, it's be able to get it as close to your natural look as possible, okay? Because it's custom fit. You actually select materials that's light, you know, light on the head, not as heavy as you would as a wig that you purchase from the store. Yeah. So, and also if you under treatment, sometimes I can design units that, you know, I can have an actual opening to where the actual, you know, like if they getting injections, they need to see a
my.
particular area. Yes. Soon, you know, over time, I'm going to be able to do 3D cast molds.
Oh, my gosh.
And that's dealing with people who went to war or had an accident and part of their skull is gone. We make cranial prosthesis for that. So that's 3D. So it fills in the missing area. Yeah, that's the advanced level of cranial prosthesis design.
You gotta love modern technology.
Uh-huh.
I can't even begin to imagine what people did prior to these types of things being available to them, other than just wear a scarf and walk around, you know, with confidence in the toilet, and just really horrible feelings about themselves.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen it time and time again when they lose their hair, they're crying, they get into their own little shell and they go into hiding, you know, especially when the story aired when I talked about wigs with purpose. It's here to stay.
Right.
I had women actually come into the salon and they see all the wigs they can choose from. And
Okay.
one in particular selected one and actually put it on her head. But when I turned her around in the mirror, she started to cry and say, "Oh my God, I haven't seen this woman in a long time."
Oh,
8 years.
wow.
8 years, you know, and she was just so appreciative and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, you'll be amazed how many people are hurting out there. And another thing is what happened to me this week. I was getting ready for another interview,
Okay.
and I had a client, I was a cancer survivor. I walked in, and so happened my patient brand advanced client, she was there. So she was able to encourage this woman. She walked in crying and nervous, you know. I was like, God, I mean, I just look at how God just aligns things.
Yes.
And it's so important that you follow, you know, we love different things. We are gifted in a lot of different things. But when you hone in on that and you actually do it, you end up identifying your purpose in life, to me, you know? So, like me, I love doing hair. And I like the outcome of how women actually feel when they leave my chair, you know? They have that sense of confidence,
Right.
you know? A woman's hair is a crown and glory. But I also feel it's a spiritual connection, you know? And when God,
Take your time.
told me the meaning of what wig is. See, you read my name, and you said M-A-C. It's Lisa Mack, maker of crown. I am that maker because the word wig means crowning winners in God. I'm placing that crown on them to remind them that God is real. God allowed me to create a resource for women to come to make them smile again, to feel whole again, to feel love again.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm sorry I'm crying, but
Are you kidding?
these
No.
are tears of joy because
Absolutely.
it's so important to know that God is real. And when it's in you, hey, you have the whole world to me. You can change a lot of people's lives.
And we're not trying to tell you who to believe in or what to believe in, whatever your faith is. But as a Christian woman, and I'm a Christian woman, we can identify with that and know that there is a higher being, higher than ourselves.
That's right.
You have been doing this for over 20 years.
Yes.
What was the first experience that drew you to it, to know that this had to be your calling?
Let me see. Oh, God. Okay. Well, just, I realized that as a stylist, the people that come to your chair and stay with you is part of who you are, okay? And is also a part of, I would say, for me, is to help, okay? So it started out women in domestic violence shelters.
Okay.
All right? And they would share their stories, even though they really, shouldn't. But they share them, and they tell me men have ripped her hair out of her head. I'm like, what? And I will sometimes take them to the back, and they begin to cry, and I say, it's okay. And they say, really, I don't have enough money. And that's where I started giving, And like I said, it went from that. And that was around, I would say, in 2010, right before I retired out the military. Well, 2009. And it was right before I retired out the military. I realized that, this was my call.
Okay.
And I kept it just something I was just doing. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot of people kept pouring to me and saying, Lisa, hey, you really helping a lot of women. And I hear God. See, I hear God because, God would tell me, this one in particular is a cancer survivor. Because, we get a list of names, to contact, hey, you're going to make over these women. And there's one in particular, she would just ignore my calls or my emails.
She was in denial?
No. She was hurting. She was hurting. And matter of fact, she's, pretty public about it.
Okay.
Yeah, she has an organization called The Strong Will Survive. And but what happened was she was going through a lot in her marriage and stuff, and just hurting in her body.
Right.
And God say, call her anyway. Keep calling her. Keep calling her. I'm
Be
like,
persistent,
okay.
right.
And I did, and she responded. And when I found out where she at, because she was like, I can't drive. I'm just in so much pain. I said, where you at? And found out she's around the corner from where I live.
Oh. Look at God, girl.
Right. And I went to her, and we talked, and I just let her know that it's going to be okay. I'm still going to do you anyway, even after the fact, after the actual event, it was stepping for the cure. I still did her after the fact, and and she was just crying and so happy that I was there for her, and I just remained just, you know, encouraging her and doing her hair. And
Wow,
I mean,
beautiful.
she's a strong woman. She's still battling with, you know, cancer and other, you know, different ailments. And I pray for her. She's a strong woman. Her organization, Strong Will Survive.
Lisa,
Yeah.
please tell our listening audience where they can locate you
Oh.
for your services.
Yes. Okay. Exquisite Beauty Hair Replacement Center is located at 1580 Crossways Boulevard, 103, Suite 12 in Chesapeake, Virginia. You can find me on all social media platforms, you know, Facebook, Exquisite Beauty Hair Replacement Center. My website is www.exquisitebeautyhrc.com. And if you are in need of hair care assistance or just a free wig, please contact me. Same location, Wigs with Purpose is sharing that same space, okay? So if you need my help, I am here. Phone number is 757-567-2698.
You all have learned a lot from Lisa concerning this. Maybe more than you wanted to know, but then I'm sure that you picked up some things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring the conversation back around so that we can end it with talking about the Oscars and body language, because we only have a few minutes, so I just want to end it there.
Right.
In the post that you sent
Mhm.
us to view, the gentleman discussed the position of Jada, meaning that at first she was sitting there like this, meaning if your neck is exposed, that means you're
Yeah.
open, you're vulnerable, you're, you know, you're fine. And as soon as the joke was said, her demeanor changed, and she was sitting, you know, straight up, you know, head up like this, you know, very tense, very erect. Whereas Will was, you know, lounging at first and laughing at everything until he turned around and saw her. And then I don't understand, even after all that dynamic happened and he slapped Chris Rock, and Chris, God love him, my goodness. Anybody else, it would have been a brawl, and that would have definitely, you know, especially since it was a black production going on. We were in the forefront,
Yes,
and
we
I think
were.
had he not been who he was, and they knew he was about to get an award, he would, anybody else, he would have been out of there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying all that to say that his demeanor and his body language warranted Denzel, Tyler Perry, and Will Smith's manager to come up during the commercial break to try and calm him down. Now, we don't know what was going on backstage with Chris Rock. He could have been throwing a hissy fit back there like, I'm going to, you know, do whatever. But none of that was ever shown. It was all about Will, and I didn't like his acceptance speech either. To me, it was phony. It was fake. All those tears, all that ingratiating, as the post said, with him trying to get Denzel on his side and everyone else to, you know, co-sign what he was saying.
But I think also the tears was he know he messed up.
Then he should have been man enough at that point to apologize to Chris Rock instead of waiting till the next day when all the blowback came and the feedback that everybody was against him for that.
And that's pride.
And men do have that. Well, women do too.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that,
But still, charges can still be filed against him.
even if Rock doesn't file them, the state can file charges against
Yes,
him.
sure can.
And, well,
That's it.
if they charge him, money, whatever, who gets the money?
That's a good question. I don't know.
We need it. You can
Yeah,
send
we
some
can
this
definitely
way.
use that.
We can use it for the station here.
Yeah.
Lisa, it's been a pleasure,
Oh,
my friend.
Karen.
I'm so glad you were here. I'm so glad you came and talked to us. We're going to have you back again because there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
much more that you can tell us and what we can learn from you.
I'm so grateful that I dived into the study of hair loss. I'm continuing my studies. I'm working on becoming a trichologist now. But despite of all that we've been through with the pandemic, Just remember, God is still with you.
Yes,
Still follow your goals and dreams in life.
absolutely.
And mine is understanding more about hair loss.
And that's why you have that glow and that light around you because of your aura and your goodness and mercy and just your
I'm so
purpose is
red
being
right
right
now.
there.
Look at me.
My listening audience, thank you so much for letting us come into your living rooms this evening and to hear this wonderful not a podcast, but our airing of this show regarding
Yes.
alopecia and the Oscars. And like I said, we're not giving anything other than our own opinions on things like that. But this woman right here, you all need to, if anyone needs to send out information to come and see her, do that.
Yes.
This has been ESP TV. My name is Karen Bryson, and as always, be a blessing to at least one other person each day.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.